Hey everybody, what's up? It's Dan here. Welcome to another DanQ review Super Show. Today we have two games on the list to review. Two games that were very entertaining for me, and I'm really excited to get the review for them. First, let's start off with the first game I covered I guess a little over a week ago. Came out April 18th, and I can't grab a game, I'm used to grabbing a game. That's Trials Evolution, which is an Xbox Live Arcade exclusive, and the sequel to Trials HD, which was actually the sequel to a bunch of Flash games that came out for when the game was known as Trial Bike on PC. If you played that back in the day, with the same as me, when I was a lot younger, and I played Trial Bike on one of the Flash websites that they have out there. It's pretty crazy how far this series has come. First, we'll do our summary. Got it written here so I don't have to think. For Trials Evolution. Trials Evolution is available on Xbox 360 only. Obviously, it's an Xbox Live Arcade exclusive. I really think they should have branched this one out. I think a lot of people are missing out because it's an Xbox Live Arcade exclusive. But what are you going to do? It is a platformer and racing game. It's published by Red Links and sorry, I flipped that. Developed by Red Links and published by Microsoft Studios. Okay, let's talk about Trials Evolution. What did I think? What did I like? What didn't I like? Alrighty, let's start off with what I liked. Visually, this game, I mean, it's similar to Trials HD, but at the same time, I never played Trials HD. So from my standpoint, the game looks visually pleasing. It's really nice. It doesn't try too hard, meaning for what it is, you get a nice visual experience from the game. You know, it's a lot of fun just hearing the visual and audio-visual presentation is really good. That's what I'm going to put down as it, because not only do you get a nice visual experience, but you also get a nice audio experience, and meaning the sound effects of the bike, the crashes are all very realistic, and I really like that. And it's funny hearing your guy, like your character, as you're going off huge jumps. You know, he's just going, "Oh yeah, baby!" You know, things like that. It's just really funny. So I like the whole audio-visual experience of this game. Let's take another look. Also expanding on the audio side of things, the soundtrack of this game was well-fitting. You had a nice range of hard rock, you know, kind of an alternate rock, to a little bit metal, you know, kind of all that blended in, and it's fit this game really well. I mean, you weren't getting like a really slow. It was always fast-paced music to fit the game. And I really liked it. So in terms of a soundtrack, I enjoyed it. It fit nicely. Another thing that I really liked about this game, you get a lot of content in it for what you pay. And I'll get to what you pay in a bit. I've actually played this game. This game is longer than most full retail games, believe it or not. I think okay, let me think. I did it in 26 parts, although I stopped for time management, and I'll explain that in a minute. 26 parts, so 5, basically like over 6 hours is what it took me, and it would have taken me longer if I completely completed it. I'll just branch out on that and explain what I mean. A lot of people thought I rage quit the game. Actually, we'll get into it. Hold on, just 2 seconds here. This game, another positive point, has a lot of gameplay in it, and I mean, let's talk about this. Many different challenging levels. Like you start off at the beginner stages, you move to the easy, intermediate, hard, and then you do extreme, which is some pretty hard stuff, let me tell you. I managed to get through, I'd say, a good 99% of the entire single-player game until I found out that the extreme mode is actually an extra mode. It's not part of the main story or the main game. It's just extra levels for you to try, you know what I mean? So I managed to get, I think, 4 of those done, and there were a total of 7, I think. Or I got 3 and there were 6 done. I can't remember. I think that I did 4 of them and there were 7 total. No. I had 2 left that I couldn't do. There were only 2 more things that were done. I can't remember. But regardless, they were just, it seemed, for me, the reason I stopped, a lot of people thought it was because I got so mad. No, I mean, a lot of people were even complimenting me on my patience, because there are a lot of parts where people were like, "Dan, your patience is God," which ironically is not like me at all. But I don't know what it was about this game. I just like doing it. So I think that has something to do with it. Yes, I did get a little upset sometimes, but I felt, you know, you're playing a fun game, let's keep at it. But the reason I stopped was because at the end of the day, I was doing the same part over and over. One part was just one part of the thing because it was so challenging. So for your guys' sake, I just stopped. I mean, I know a lot of you would like to see it, but a lot of people are like, this is hard. You know, I mean, the only reason I'm around is the commentary. And I do appreciate that, but at the same time, I don't want to make you guys watch something that you don't want to enjoy just because I'm, you know, my commentary. I do like that, though. But you know what I mean, right? You got the idea throughout my entire gameplay series of the game. So that was good. I like the fact that there's lots of different challenge modes. There's online multiplayer, which is not much different. That's why I didn't really do it. Online multiplayer is essentially the same thing as single player. The only difference is you have somebody else. You're basically racing in real time through whatever stage you pick. So I didn't cover it because of that, but you do have that ability. And you know, you have tournament modes. You have a skill mode, which I really thought was interesting because there were unique little things. Like, for example, there was one thing where your accelerator was stuck on, and you couldn't brake. All you could do was lean back and forth. And you had to get as far as you could through the track. Depending on how far you got the bronze, silver, gold, or the platinum, depending on how well you do. And those little things, like there was even one where you flew a UFO and you had to land on all the platforms. It was really, really cool. Different things you could do. So I liked all the variety of game modes. Now let's go back to... okay, actually, I'm just going to slip this in there. I probably should have slipped it in earlier. But the gameplay, the controls, they all feel really good. I mean, the game feels like Trials, It's exactly what it is, and I really like how it feels on the control. Like, at first, it's a little weird because it's, like, sensitive, but I've known the Trial Bike control scheme forever. So it hasn't been a huge difficulty for me. So that was really great about it. I did love that part. So at first, you may be like, whoa, this is kind of weird, but you'll really like it, and you'll have a lot of fun with the game and its controls. And brings me back to my final positive point that I want to mention. The value is really good. I mean, this game has so much content in it, so much fun, and you're really only paying, depending what region you're in or wherever you're from, and the value of your buck. It's worth 1,200 Microsoft points, which is roughly, can be anywhere from $15 to $18. That's how I look. So for a $15 to $18 game, lots of content, lots of replay value. It's just a great deal, and this is a game that if you have an Xbox 360, you should not miss out on it. That's just my perspective. So if that's your thing, I do recommend you go get it. Okay? Now people are going to be like, "Dan, what about your negatives?" Honestly, the only negative I could possibly think of isn't really a negative, because that's just me being dumb. It got too hard, but I'm not putting that as a negative. That's because you got to get good at it. They're giving you challenges. You don't have to do the hard modes. They give you that option. You can work at your own pace. There's so much to work for. So I don't have negatives for this game. Believe it or not, there's none that I can really think of. I love the game. I thought it was a lot of fun. A lot of people love my commentary. Struggling through some of these trials. They were great times. So I liked it. So I'm going to give Trial Bike, vroom, vroom. Is that good enough for a little picture? Trial Bike a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. It doesn't deserve a perfect score, but honest to God, I think you're really going to love the game. Because at the end of the day, when you do beat it, let's look at it this way. When you do beat it, you can't do anything else with it. So you will get your time out of it, but if it were a perfect game, it's a game you can go back and play over and over, which you probably could. It depends on your style. But I'm giving Trials a 9 out of 10. Really well done game. Beautiful looking. A lot of fun. A lot of different game modes. I love the soundtrack. It's a great value for what you're paying. You get what you pay for and more, trust me. So that is Trials Evolution. I enjoyed it. This is one of those games, I just said it. If you got an Xbox 360, go and get it. You will have a lot of fun with it. No matter what type of game you like. You don't even have to be an extreme sports fanatic. You can get this and enjoy it. Okay, let's move on. Get that done. That's Trials. Move on to the first major retail release that's in a while, actually. When I think about it. And let's talk about it. Here we go. Prototype 2. That's right, everybody. Prototype 2. Very, very anticipated game. I never played the first game, and a lot of people were upset with me for that, and I get why. However, I don't think playing the first game takes away the experience from this game. I knew the story already. I didn't play the game, but I already knew how the story went and what happened. So I didn't have to spend hours trying to figure out what's going on. I knew it was right up to speed. But let's get right into the summary. Before I get into that, I'm just going to go to my trusty paper notebook over here. And, okay, so Prototype 2 is available on Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and it's not out yet. I believe it releases in July, but it is coming out for PC as well. I don't know why they do that. With every game, they put the console versions out first and the PC one later. Most of them, anyway. I don't know. It is an action-adventure and open-world game. It is developed by Radical Entertainment and published by Activision. Alright, let's get back to Prototype 2. What can we talk about in this game? What do I like? What didn't I like? What could have been done? What couldn't have been done? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's start by... first thing I want to mention. Normally I start with graphics, but I don't want to start with that just yet, and I'll explain in a minute. Okay. I don't know what point I want to start off on. Honestly, it's like that. Alright, let's start off with the gameplay. The main meat and grime of it. Really, really fun. Honestly, you're going to love the gameplay in this game. I had so much fun, and the fact that you can do these crazy things as this immortal human, essentially. Well, you're not immortal, but you're a superhuman, basically. You're not even human. You've got all these abilities, that gets grown upon you as you get better and better. You expand on these abilities, and you get new abilities, and they really affect the gameplay. First, though, when you first start out, you're just the first thing I did, I'm running up a flippin' building. I'm running up a wall, sprinting at full speed. And I'm like, how the hell does he do that? Just the whole thought of it. Jumping from roof to roof, having the ability to glide, all that. The gameplay was really fun. The combat was really good. I enjoyed it because you could, a lot of people may think, oh, it's you're just doing the same thing. I liked it because there was an ability to move on, which I'm going to mention now. Games that do this, and I love it when they do it. They make it, as you progress, you upgrade your character, and upon upgrading, you get new abilities, new weapons. I know it sounds very simple, but I love that game mechanic. It's awesome. I think it's great. That way you get new stuff. You're striving for something. Like, for example, you start out with the claws, right? The claw ability. But the thing that was so cool about it, you got your abilities by devouring your enemy. So if there was an infected guy with claws, I can't remember what he was called, the Brute, I believe that's what he was called. Probably wrong, someone's going to correct me. Regardless, once you killed him, before you killed him, you devour him and basically take his powers from him. That's what it did. So he had claw ability, you take his claws. Now you have claws. And then you go down the road, you face a guy who's got, I don't know, super shields. I believe they were called, what were they called? I'm dumb. I just played these games, and I can't remember what it was called. Oh, dear. I'm sorry, I can't remember. But he's got a shield, or I should say she, because that's a female. I know it's weird. But has a shield ability, and as soon as you beat that person, or that infected guy, bitch, or whatever, you devour them, you get a shield ability, and you can use it in your combat. So as you go, you can do various things to improve these missions. Now, let's go on to another point. There's a lot of replayability in this game. This game is lengthy. That's another point. The game is long because you can make it long. I mean, if you just did single player, like the main story, you probably could finish it in a shorter amount of time. However, I did side missions, which were fun, and they did improve your ability. So once you finish, you got a new upgrade for your character. Depending on whether it was your offense, your defense, your recon, or your hunting ability, which is basically the ability to find people. You have a sonar vision that locates your target, that sort of thing. Whatever it was that would help you in that category is what the side missions mainly did. So they weren't mandatory, but they would make it easier on you down the road. So that was something I liked. However, those side missions, I want to say this now, were very, very bland and repetitive. There wasn't anything special about them that I really liked. They at first they were cool, but all they did was basically same idea. You're supposed to go find this character. You find him, get some information from him. They have different styles, yes. Like there's one where stronghold missions where you have to take out an entire stronghold from the Black Watch. The main police military force in the game. That's your enemy. You have to take the whole stronghold back, destroy the facility because they do these really twisted experiments on humans, things like that. There's another one where you have to collect, they're basically collections. You're under a time limit. You're jumping from roof to roof, collecting whatever it may be, and each one you pick up gives you a few more seconds of time, and if you don't make it and collect them all by the time runs out, you fail the mission. I never liked that one, but I think there were maybe 5 different types of mini-game things you could do. All of them were okay at first once you played them, but after a while, they just, nah, I'm done, So, I didn't really like that, the fact that they got repetitive kind of quick. But, there's also the side missions that allowed you to, they were like free time things, like for example the layers, like the collections. These are like the collections things. There are things you can collect, like you can collect radios, like radios that tell you stories, you know, about what happened in previous time spans. You can also collect items that you can, like, okay, there's one where they're doing an open experiment, like on a live creature. You destroy those, it hurts Blackwatch, you know, a bunch of those. There's ones, like I said, you can do layers where they're like underground facilities with infected people, and you basically have to clear it out. Things like that. So there's things on the side to keep you occupied that aren't mandatory, but they do get a little repetitive. They're fun, but they do get repetitive after a little while. How do I feel about the story mode? The storyline I actually enjoyed. It made sense. It was really interesting. This man, James Heller, is a very pissed off individual. Trust me, he is angry. He's pissed. That's all I can say throughout the game. I'm not going to spoil anything in this game because it's a review of the game. However, he's a very angry gentleman, and therefore it does make you feel for him, and you do get pissed with him, and you just want to dominate, which is really cool. So it makes you feel your emotions, which this game is really neat for. So the story captures you, it brings you in, it keeps you attuned to it, makes you want to help James Heller defeat Mercer, Alex Mercer, who actually was the protagonist of Prototype 1, which is a really cool twist. And it was a really entertaining story. However, let's go to the ending. I'm not going to tell you what happens. Okay, I'll put it this way. I was satisfied with the way the game ended. However, I felt there could have been more. It was way too easy to do the final boss. It was way too easy, you know, just to beat him. I found a method that was just so easy. I just did it over and over. I had the guy beat in maybe 10 minutes. And this is the final boss, keep in mind. And I've actually struggled with other bosses more than him. The final boss I had less trouble with than previous enemies who were actually just minions. And not only that, but the ending cutscene was a little bland, very over really quickly. I mean, it was satisfying. I said that before, but it's very simple. Like, you know, like you could have done something else with that. I mean, that huge build-up. I mean, because the game is long, right? It's however long. I think it took me 11 hours to beat, give or take. More like take. I think it was like 10 and a half, which is a good chunk of time for a game, considering I did everything, right? I didn't collect everything, so there was still time you could have done. But the ending was over very quick, and it was like, that was a lot of build-up for a big drop, you know what I mean? So very anticlimactic ending. However, I was satisfied with how it felt. So let's recap. That's what I thought about Prototype 2. So first off, excuse me, forget that, sorry, forget I said that. I wanted to go back to the graphics. Very outdated looking. I mean, you see these real-time scenes. Like, I don't know if you guys watched the trailer for Prototype 2 that has been playing on ads all over YouTube as of late with Johnny Cash's version of Hurt. That looked really good, and they had that type of graphical. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's real life, right? That's real action. They actually had that type of graphical style in the cutscenes, in the main intro cutscenes, things like that. And then as soon as you got in the gameplay, you were kind of given kind of old-looking graphics and kind of a bit of a choppy frame rate. Not bad, but you can see it at first. It chops sometimes. So in terms of the graphical design, it could have been improved, but it's not mandatory in a game anymore, at least from what I think. As long as you have good content, graphical design isn't 100% needed unless, of course, you have an epic game that's living up to expectations, that sort of thing. So it's not canon to the experience, I should say. So that's my final thing. So let's recap Prototype 2. I liked the gameplay of it, really fun. I liked the storyline. I liked the longevity of it. There's lots to do. It's just really entertaining. The fact that the story, like I said before, storyline was good, makes you feel. However, you had things like repetitive side missions. Forgot from the good stuff. There was the ability that you can upgrade your character and get better things and advance all the time was one of my favorite aspects of the game. Let's go back to negative. Sorry, repetitives, very very repetitive on the side missions. Eventually, the ending was kind of bittersweet. It was good, but it was too short. All that build up for nothing. The boss fight was way too easy, and the graphics are pretty bland looking. They weren't all that superior. So, what am I gonna rate Prototype 2. I like this game. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's a really good game. I mean, don't get me like. There's a few bad things about it, but there's a lot of good things too that you will like about it. So I'm gonna give Prototype 2, even though it's not amazing, I'm gonna give it a 7.5 because I think that's what it deserves. It is a good game. If like just because 7.5 is a good score considering 5's average. It's above average. It's almost at the great game stage. With 8 and above is great to amazing game. It's a 7.5. It's a good game in my opinion. I enjoyed it. So I think everybody should at least take a look at this, especially if you're a Prototype fan. If you played the first one, I would definitely pick this up. Even if you haven't played it like me, pick this up. It's a good game to try out, honestly. There's a lot of gameplay in it, so if you're worried about longevity, don't be, because this game's got a lot of it. So that concludes this episode of the DanQ Review Super Show. We covered Trials Evolution and Prototype 2 today. Hope you guys enjoyed the reviews. Hope it helped you make a decision. I hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay of these games. I had a lot of fun playing these two games. They were great. So thanks everybody for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, favorite. It all helps out greatly. So thanks everybody. I'll see you guys next time. More footage, more reviews, all coming up. So thanks guys later. Thanks everybody. I'll see you guys later.